Hello and welcome back to Him Reads. This story is called Dr. Seuss' Sleep Book. The news just came in from the county of Keck that a very small bug by the name of Van Vleck is yawning so wide you can look down his neck. This may not seem very important, I know, but it is, so I'm bothering telling you so. A yawn is quite catching, you see, like a cough. It just takes one yawn to start other yarns off. Now, the news that came in that some friends of Van Vleck's are yawning so wide you can see down their necks. At this moment right now, under 7 more noses, great yawns are in blossom. They're blooming like roses. The yawn of that one little bug is still spreading. According to the latest reports, it is heading across wide fields through the sleepy air across the whole country toward every which way. And people are starting to say, I feel quite rather drowsy. I've had a day. Creatures are starting to think about rest. 2 bifferbomb birds are not building their nest. They do it each night, and quite often I wonder how they do this job without making a blunder. That is their problem, not yours, not mine. The point is, they're going to bed, and that's fine. Sleep thoughts are spreading throughout the whole land. The time for night brushing of teeth is at hand. Up at Herkheimer Falls, where the great river rushes and crashes down crags in great garbling gushes. The Herkheimer sisters are using their brushes. Those falls are just grand for toothbrushing beneath. It happens to be that way with your teeth. The news just came in from the castle of Krupp. The lights are all out and the drawbridge is up. And the old drawbridge just said with a yawn, my drawbridge is drawn. It's going to stay drawn till the milkman delivers the milk about dawn. I'm going to bed now, so nobody better come around with a special delivery letter. The number of sleepers is steadily growing. That is where more and more people are going. In Culpeper Springs, the Stiltwalkers' Hall, the Stiltwalkers' stilts are stacked against the wall. The Stiltwalkers have called it a day. They're all tuckered out and they're snoozing away. That is very big news. It's important, you know, and that's why I'm bothering to tell you so. Way out west in the town of Merced, the Hinklehorn Honking Club just went to bed. Every horn has been quietly hung on a hook. For the night, its own private Hinklehorn nook. All this long, happy day, they've been honking about, and the Hinklehorn honkers have honked themselves out. But they'll wake up fresh in the morning, and then the salt right in the Hinklehorn honking again. Everywhere creatures are falling asleep. The collapsible frame just collapsed in a heap. And by adding the frame to the others before, I am able to give you the Who's Asleep score. Right now, 40,404 creatures are happily, deeply in slumber. I think you'll agree that's a whopping fine number. Counting up sleepers, just how do we do it? It's really quite simple. There's nothing much to it. We'll find out how many. We'll learn the amount by an autotelio count. On a mountain halfway between Reno and Rome, we have a machine in a plexiglass dome, which listens and looks into everyone's home, and whoever sees it, a new sleeper go flop. It jiggles and lets a big old ball drop. Our chap counts these balls as they plop in a cup, and that's how we know who is down and who's up. Get down, kitty. Do you talk in your sleep? It's a wonderful sport. And I have some news of this sport to report. The world champion sleep talkers, Joe and Mo Redzaw, has just gone to sleep, and they're talking their heads off. For 55 years now, each chattering brother as babbled and gabbled all night to each other. They've talked about laws, and they've talked about gauze, they've talked about paws, and they've talked about flaws. They've talked about the old Santa Claus. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you should take up the sport. It's fine just for jaws. Do you walk in your sleep? I just had a report of some interesting news of this popular sport. Near Finnegan Finn, there's a sleepwalking group, which not only walks, but walks a la loop. Every night they go miles, or they don't go much strength. They have to keep talking up the strength. So every so often, one puts down their hoop, stop hooping, and does some quick snooping for soup. That's why they are known as Hoop Soup Snoop Group. Sleepwalking too are the curious Crandalls, who sleepwalk on hills and assorted sized candles. The Crandalls walk nightly in slumbering peace, in spite of slight burns from hot dripping grease. The Crandalls wear candles because they walk far, and if they wake up, want to see where they are. Now the news has arrived from the Valley of Vale that a Chippendale muff has just bitten his tail, which he does every night before shuttering his eyes. Such a snippy sounds silly, but really it's wise. He has no alarm clock, so this is the way. He makes sure that he'll wake up at the right time of day. His tail is so long, he won't feel any pain until the nip makes the trip and gets up in his brain. In exactly 8 hours, the Chippendale muff will at last feel the bite and yell, "Ouch!" and wake up. A Mr. and Mrs. J. Carmichael Crofts have just gone to bed near the town of Fort Knox, and they, by the way, have the finest of clocks. I'm not sure that I quite understand just how a thing works with that one extra hand, but I do know this clock does one very slick trick. It doesn't tick-tock. How it goes is tock-tick. So it ticks with its talker and talks in its ticker. It saves a lot of time, and the sleepers sleep quicker. What a fine night for sleeping, from all that I hear. It's the best night for sleeping in many a year. There's even a Z-back motel, and people, they don't usually sleep there too well. And beds are like rocks, as everyone knows. The sheets are too short. They won't cover your toes. So if people are actually sleeping in there, it's a great night for sleeping. It must be the air. It's a great night for snores. I just had a report of some boys who are taught in this musical sport. The snoriest snorers in all of our land are Snorer McPhail and his Snore a Snort band. This band can snore Dixie and an old Swanee River, so it would make 40 elephants shiver. The loudest of all the boys is McPhail. He snores in his head and in a 3-gallon pail. They snore in the cave 20 miles out of town. If they snore closer in, they would snore the town down. Do you know who's asleep out in Funa Laguna? Two very nice Funa Laguna Babuna. We've added them to our Who's Asleep count, which has grown to a really quite amazing amount. Exactly 8,808 creatures are sleeping right now. Isn't that great? A Jed is in a bed, and the bed of a Jed is the softest of beds in the world. It is said. He makes it from pom-poms he grows on his head, and he's sleeping right now on the softest of fluff, completely exhausted from growing the stuff. The news has come in from the district of Doff. The two oft are asleep, and they're sleeping aloft. And how are they going to sleep on the ground? I'll tell you, I waited on last week, and I found there's an off so light that he must weigh minus 1 pound. A moose is asleep. He's dreaming of moose drinks. A goose is asleep. He's dreaming of goose drinks. That's well and good when a moose dreams of moose juice. And nothing goes wrong when a goose dreams of goose juice. But isn't it good when a moose and a goose start dreaming they're drinking the other one's juice? Moose juice, not goose juice, is juice for a moose. And goose juice, not moose juice, is good juice for a goose. So when the goose gets a mouthful of juices of mooses, and moose gets a mouthful of juices of gooses, they've always found out of their bed screaming screams. So, I'm warning you now, don't drink in your dreams. Speaking of dreams, I think you should know that the Bumble Tub Club is now dreaming afloat. Every night they go dreaming down Bubble Tub Creek, except for one night, every third or fourth week, when they stop for their pairs because their bubble tubs leak. But tonight they're afloat, full of dreams, full of bliss, and that's why I'm bothering telling you this. At the fork of a road in the valley of Vode, 5 weary salesmen have laid down their load. All day they've raced in the heat at top speeds, incessantly trying to sell zizzer-zoosies, which nobody wants because nobody needs. Tomorrow will come, they'll go back to their chore, they'll start on the road zizzer-zoofing once more, but tonight they were out and their feet are so sore, and that's what the wonderful night is for. Everywhere, creatures having shut off their voices, they've all gone to bed in the beds of their choices. They're sleeping in brushes, they're sleeping in crannies, some on their stomach and some on their fannies. They're peacefully sleeping in comfortable holes, some even on soft, tufted barber shop poles. The number of sleepers is now past the millions. The number of sleepers is now in the billions. They're sleeping on steps and on strings and on floors, in mailbags of ships and the keyholes of doors. Every worm on a fish hook is safe for the night. Every fish in the sea is too sleepy to bite. Every whale in the ocean must turn off its spout. Every light between here and far Foodle is out. And now who's adding up? We are way beyond billions. Our who's asleep score is now up in the zillions. $99 zillion, 9 trillion and 2. Creatures are sleeping. So, how about you? When you put on your light, then the number will be 99 zillion, 9 trillion and 3. Good night. And that's the end of that story. See you later.